It's Jeff Tamburello here to talk about the June 2025 Lee County, Florida foreclosure report. So this is my work done for me and shared with you. In uncertain times, it's really easy to overreact. See a whole lot of that right now due to some misguided stats reports and the media that doesn't know how to read it or doesn't care and runs with it. Foreclosures do drive negative price pressure. One of the reasons why we watch them. What's driving your next investment or life decision? I mean, ultimately, information's cool, content's cool, but how are you using this to better your life or your next investment? And 2025 has got a whole new set of dynamics, particularly demographics in the background. This is from Gulf Shore Business. They basically stated, I'm going to save you all this reading, that Cape Coral is the second highest foreclosure rate in the country. And I was kind of curious as to where the other courthouse is. Adam Data used to be known as Realty Track, and they've actually cleaned up how they grade stuff. It used to be a lot worse. There was a time, I believe 2012, where they put out that there was 30,000 foreclosure actions in Lee County, and it was like 11,000. And I ended up getting into a decent conversation back and forth. I think it was Daryl Blomquist. He's still with Adam Data. And it's just how they grade and how they do the methodology. So let's talk about that. They do foreclosure activity, which the media sees as a foreclosure filing. And I believe it's these three: the notice of default, the notice of trustee sale or list pendants, and the real estate owned when after the lender has taken. Now, in the past, I believe they also got judgment in there and something else. So they have cleaned it up since way back in the day. The problem is you end up with multiple foreclosure actions is you've got the list pendants filed in January, they get a judgment notice of sale in March, and then in May it becomes an REO on the bank's balance sheet. So you've got three separate foreclosure actions for one case. So essentially it's amplifying foreclosures by 300%. How this skews the data, I just talked about that before. It's at least it's not actual actionable data. In judicial states like Florida, it's the distortion is worse because of the timelines and docket filings. Non-judicial states, they don't have as much emphasis on it. Why it matters, you got investors and homeowners spooked. I can say all these negative articles that have been ran, the Wall Street Journal and a couple other ones, and then the local media compounding it. My phone's ringing off the hook with long-term investors that I did a lot of business with after the great financial crisis that are dying to get that opportunity again, just like we all are. Policymakers and regulators tend to overreact because they don't do a lot of data work themselves. And you got local markets painted with a broad brush that isn't appropriate. It's really the real estate version of the game Chinese telephones. If you're an 80s kid, they used to do this to teach about distortion. The teacher would whisper blue marble in one kid's ear, and at the other end of the classroom it would come out red car. So and social media makes it worse actually. How not to get duped with this: you want to use the primary data source, you could just go to leeclerk.org. You can download all this data yourself with the click of a button into CSV. We are so blessed in Lee County that between the property appraisers and the clerk of the court, it's an insane amount of transparency here that you do not have in a lot of, particularly the up north states. It's like arcane black magic to get at public records, which is why I think companies like this do well because you just in Southwest Florida, particularly Lee County, it is very easy to verify this stuff. Most people won't do it. And then track the filing dates. That's what we've been tracking for the longest time. We were also tracking the certificates of title. If the foreclosures flare up, we'll add that data set again, but we're at the point where there's just not enough to matter. This is for perspective, including June's and the great financial crisis. So if you need to see what a bad time in the market was, that was actually a bad time in the market. This isn't even really of note. This is since 2015. This was a market kind of regaining its, and you look at from 2015 forward, I think the highest we got was under 200, 160, 159, something like that. I personally think that when we break 400 is when I'm really going to start paying attention. This is from 2020. Now, bear in mind, a lot of these data sets that are reported in the media are using the increases from the pandemic when they basically shut everything down. And then last year, everything kind of got real quiet too in December. I don't know whether that was an anomaly, a banking thing, a government thing, a some kind of thing. But you, particularly when you're using anything from the 2020 period to really the end of 2021, the pandemic had foreclosures shut down. So if you're looking at that trend line, you're going to confuse yourself, truly confuse yourself. It's really it. The foreclosures are still not enough to move a market, this market. You have foreclosures really represent downward price pressure. Nothing runs a market up like a banker with easy liquidity, and nothing will run a market down like a bank cleaning off his balance sheet. I hope this information is useful to you. If you have any questions, just leave a comment or shoot us an email. Thanks for watching.
This concludes this edition of REIAcast. Be sure to subscribe to receive our next episode. You can also subscribe at our website, www.swflreia.com. See you at a meeting soon. Please let us know if you have a suggestion for a future episode.